What's going on? Welcome back to the video. I want to kind of tell a story or a situation about something I've seen on the internet today. And I posted it on my Instagram. So there was this kid who was streaming in his room, and a big streamer named Ronaldo, he ended up sending him a lot of gifted subs. And he was super excited, of course, because it's a big streamer. You getting noticed more. You're getting close to making your partnership, right? And they say, his mom comes in and starts slapping him up, beating him up, telling him to get out. So the whole thing kind of escalates to a point to where cops get called. He has to leave, and it kind of just changes his life, good in a bad way. Bad in a state that you don't have that good home team that will push you to keep doing something that you love. But on the good end, he's been getting an immense amount of support from some of the best and top ranked streamers. And that resulted in him getting pushed more. And he finally got partnership with Twitch. So in the end, it worked out. But some of the things that some of the top streamers were saying is that, specifically one, Duke Dennis, he was saying that parents don't really notice that there's going to be a point to where there's going to be a successful outcome. Like, you're going to look bad being the biggest downfall when you could have just been the biggest supporter. Essentially, what he was saying. He said it a little bit more different, but that was the basis of it, right? And he was getting an immense amount of support as far as people looking out for him, giving him more subs and making sure he's okay and he's good and he's in a safe space, right? But this brought about a different question that I had and was like super curious about. And that is, why does it seem like a certain archetype of parent are their kids' biggest dream killer? Right? Like, if you look at Speed, same thing happened to him. Mom kicked him out, moved him with his dad. He blew up. Now his mom is the main one asking him for money. So you don't really care about the dream, but you expect the benefits of your kids reaching the dream that they always have for themselves. All right. So for me, I don't know. I don't understand. It's like the purpose of being a parent is putting your kids in a position to where they can do just as well or do better in their respective field that they either love, or they're sacrificing for the short term so that they can do what they love eventually, whatever the situation is. Like, for example, it could be a kid who really wants to be a McDonald's franchisee owner of multiple McDonald's. But if you have a parent who's telling you, no, you should probably go to college, you should probably do this, blah, 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 instead of going to, Hamburg University with McDonald's to learn the business, you're going to spend years and years and years and years of resenting your parents and resenting yourself and not listening to yourself, because 10 years from that point, you could have been a franchisee of like 15 McDonald's making, I don't know, $1 million to $2 million a year, just doing nothing. Well, not nothing, but essentially just being an overseer. So things like that. I don't know, I get it. I get that parents don't really, some parents, they don't really have the vision to go, okay, this is the future. And this is what's impacting kids today. Years ago, it was rapping. That's kind of dying down. Nobody really wants to be a rapper. Everybody wants to be a streamer. Before rapping, it still kind of is being an athlete, but that's kind of changing because it's more NIL, money driven. Before that, it was something else. Before that, gold rush, example, oil industry, things like that. So there's always a new thing that evolves what kids and young adults really care about. And for someone to get in the way of that doesn't really serve a good purpose for having a thriving relationship with your kids and whatever decision that they make. Especially like kicking them out. Like, I don't know, I can never see myself kicking my kids out at any age. Like, even if they're 35, stay as long as you need. Because I would rather you leave my house and prosper than leave my house and suffer. Not fail, but failing is different. I think failing is okay. But suffrage, that's different. Because after all, if we're not guiding them to, have some failures and push through it and become successful, then what are we doing? Are we just overglorified babysitters, or are we here pushing the generation forward by being active and involved parents into what our kids are into? Just my thought. I mean, I know I'm new to this. I mean, I have like young kids under 6 years old, but just me seeing this kind of put some more things in perspective of, okay, always be aware that your kids have something that they want to do that is different from what you imagine for them. And it's better to fall in love with what they're in love with and help them push through and become great at it than to go, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. Because you're just going to end up being the greatest enemy and their biggest hater.